Ladies and gentlemen, I worry for the future. I do. I worry for the future because, don't they say, that the children are the future? Well, here are a few examples of things that make me worry. Here are some things that some certain children should not have anything to do with our future. One child at school wrote, "A giraffe needs a long neck because its head is so far away from its body." Another wrote that an optimist has 8 legs, and apparently the blue whale is over 31 centimetres long. And I think that actually might be true. I worry for future advances in science, when some children believe that H2O is hot water, and CO2, of course, is cold water. That a fossil is an extinct animal, and the older the fossil, the more extinct it is. And I think that's a great idea, variations in sort of extinctiveness. Some people actually think, some children actually believe that we need iron in our diet so that we don't float away. Now, is this news to you? Because it's definitely news to me. Well, let me tell you a few other things that I didn't know. Can I say that? I think I can say that. Did you know, for example, that our 4 seasons are not spring, summer, autumn and winter? They're actually salt, pepper, mustard and vinegar. A magnet, of course, is something that you would probably find crawling on a dead cat. And there are lots of different kinds of blood vessels. I'm sure Dr. Anand will be able to confirm that there are arteries, veins and caterpillars. Now, obviously I was intrigued by this, so I decided to look into this a bit further. I found some new medical facts. This will interest you, because even Dr. Anand, very experienced man, I'm sure he doesn't know some of these. Did you know, for example, that when you breathe in, you inspire? And if you don't, you expire. Actually, I have my suspicions about that one. Before you give blood, they need to check whether your blood is negative or affirmative. That's obviously very important. Oh, and asphyxiation. For asphyxiation, you must apply artificial respiration until the patient is dead. Now, you see, I could have stopped too soon if I hadn't known that. There is another little known medical fact which I particularly like. I now feel I'm well equipped to deal with this situation if it should arise. For drowning, you need to go on top of the person and move and wriggle, creating what was it described as artificial perspiration. So I think I can handle that. Oh, I nearly forgot, incidentally, a terminal illness is when you're sick at the airport.
Oh.
Okay. I thought you'd probably guessed that. So I'll be keeping clear of airports for a while. Very useful information from some of our young children. Now, I've discovered some new information in the field of geography. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah, please.
Oh, good. Excellent. I thought you would. Apparently, the climate in the Sahara Desert is such that the inhabitants actually have to live elsewhere. That's terrible. The general direction of the Alps is straight up, and Russia and America became global powers, while Europe remained incontinent. That explains
the piss, you know.
But I was a little concerned to discover that, well, perhaps travel may have done a little more than brawl in the mind when one child wrote that he travelled to Egypt with his parents where he had seen the sphincter. Now, I've been to Egypt and I haven't... No, there was this one. No. Anyway. Not content with challenging everything I thought I knew about geography. The children have offered me an alternative view of history as well, different parts of history. We all know that Helen of Troy launched 1,000 ships with her face. I don't know how that works. And the BC stands for before computers. I mean, that is fairly obvious. But did you know, for example, that Socrates died of a dose of wedlock? Not the first.
That's already.
You didn't know that, did you?
No.
Okay. Ancient Egypt was actually inhabited by mummies who spoke in hydraulics. No, they did. And the Russian monk Rasputin was actually a pheasant by birth. That's good too. William Tell, I'm very impressed by this. William Tell actually shot an arrow through an apple while standing on his son's head. That is a very clever trick if you can do it. You should be in the circus. Oh, and I hadn't realised that during the Second World War, all the children in the major cities had to be evaporated. I wondered where they'd gone. Okay. In the winter of 1620, it was very hard for the settlers. Many people died. Many babies were born. Captain John Smith was responsible for all of this. I have no idea. Under the Constitution, of course, people did enjoy the right to keep bear arms, and that's always good. Charles Darwin, of course, the famous naturalist, who wrote the book The Organ of the Species. Actually, I've seen the movie. It's enlightening. There are so many things in life which I'm going to find easier now. I mean, calculating horsepower, for example. Everyone should know that that's just simply the amount of energy it takes to drag a horse 500 feet in 1 second. I mean, that's simple. I now understand inertia much more clearly. Inertia is just something that was moving, then it stopped and kept moving. I'm not quite sure how that works. We say the cause of perfume disappearing is evaporation, but you know, evaporation gets blamed for lots of things where people leave the top off. Some people can tell the time of day by just looking at the sun. And I've tried that. I just can't make the numbers out. Yes, I have learned many new things in my research. Did you know? And I'm sure Dr. Anand will be able to verify this. Blood travels down one leg and back up the other. Makes perfect sense to me. No, really, it does. And to stop a nosebleed, what you need to do is you have to get the nose lower than the body till the heart stops. That might cure your nosebleed, actually. I haven't tried it yet, but I'm told it works. Now, I know more about astrology now than I ever did before. This research has been fantastic. Did you know, for example, that the Earth makes a resolution every 24 hours? I had no idea. And that we're surrounded by the Moon, the Sun, Mars, and Venus. So much new information to take in, it really is. Did you know, for example, that a wholesaler, I did not know this, a wholesaler sells you whole things, like whole cake. To think of buying it in slices all these years. Never mind. Now, the French word for butter is le pain. Now, no, it's true. I asked Kate, she speaks French, she told me it's le pain. It really is. And Doug will verify this, having been in the business. If I want to get a mortgage, my endowment company will insist that I'm well endowed. I don't know if that's true, Dick. Is that true?
True.
The thing that worries me is if I have to provide evidence, it could have so many. No, I don't really want to go there. Okay, where's Joe? Joe, you used to teach English, didn't you?
French.
Oh, well, let's pretend you did. Joe, sorry, I'm sure that anyone who does teach English, now you teach English, yes, you'll know these facts already, I'm sure. There are a great many, apparently, there are a great many orgasms in your pond. and if they're not, perhaps you're just not utilising it properly. But agoraphobia is a morbid fear of pubic places. I can't even begin to imagine how that feels. It's beyond belief. Of course, you will already know that John Milton wrote Paradise Lost, and then his wife died, and he wrote Paradise Regained. Now, one child actually wrote, I have enjoyed my childhood, and now I look forward to adultery. Don't we all? Now, ladies and gentlemen, I must share with you 3 metaphors, as I'm sure you will feel as I do, that they are beautifully written. McBride fell 12 stories, hitting the pavement like a hefty bag filled with vegetable soup. Beautiful. The young fighter had a hungry look, the kind you get from not eating for a while. And my personal favourite, the ballerina rose gracefully, on point, and extended one slender leg behind her, like a dog at a fire hydrant. Okay, now you're probably thinking these are just children. You know, they'll learn as they grow, will they? Are you sure? These comments were actually written onto patients' medical sheets by doctors, not Dr. Anand, of course. One doctor wrote the patient had waffles for breakfast and anorexia for lunch. Another wrote she has had no rigours or shaking chills, but her husband states she was very hot in bed last night. Sure she was. While in the ER, she was examined, X-rated, and sent home. Freudian slip of the pen, perhaps. When she fainted, her eyes rolled around the room. Terrible when that happens, isn't it? The patient refused an autopsy. I would have done. Don't want to go there. But where's Emma? Emma, and we have more than one lawyer or trainee lawyer in the room. It would appear that lawyers are not exempt from this either. One lawyer is recorded as having said in cross-examination, "Was it the same nose you broke as a child?" And a doctor was being cross-examined, and they said, "Before you performed the autopsy, did you check for pulse?" And the doctor said, "No." "Did you check for blood pressure?" "No." "Did you check for breathing?" "No." "It is possible then that the patient was still alive when you started the autopsy?" "No." "How can you be so sure?" "Well, his brain was in a jar on my desk." "Ah, but is it not possible still that they may have been alive nevertheless?" "Yes, and teaching law somewhere." So, ladies and gentlemen, I do worry for the future, for all of the evidence that I've given you tonight. But there is one ray of hope that I can offer you, a ray of hope in the form of a beautifully penned piece of writing from a young student. The brief in her English lesson was this: to write in the least possible number of words a short story that included religion, sexuality and mystery. And she wrote, "Good God, I'm pregnant. Who did it?"